Ryan, and I am honored to be here with Allie Krieger from the U.S. Women's National Team, world champion Allie Krieger.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris.
Hey.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So I wanted to ask first off about the Japan game.
Yes.
So that was one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had watching a sporting event. I can only imagine what it was like to play in it. So at what point do things just get weird out there?
I mean, the first 16 minutes
Yeah.
were, it was just, it was totally weird. It was incredible to be out there and to just experience those moments. And I couldn't believe that in a final, Carly Lloyd had a hat trick within 16 minutes, and we were kind of just running around celebrating, but we were so excited and just looking at each other like, okay, everyone just needs to calm down because this is real life. This is really happening.
Yeah.
We haven't won yet, but like that's kind of what goes through your mind. You're like, holy cow, this is like unbelievable. It's a final of a World Cup and we're already up 3-4-0.
I was going to ask you about the celebrating because, I think
well,
that
then Carly started running around and we were chasing her. I was getting out of breath because I'm trying to chase her and she's running to Hope and then running to the bench, and then it was unbelievable.
I was wondering after the third one if you might be like, okay, good one, thanks. Like,
I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna stay in the back.
Because was it strange to have, because you're playing right back and you're watching this happen, and so your perspective is like you see the whole thing. Like when Carly hits that midfield shot, which happens once every 4 years or something like that, when that goes in.
Ever. Yeah.
I mean, just like, have you ever played in a game that was that out of whack within the first 15 minutes?
She's an incredible player, incredible teammate, and I think that I would trust her with anything. So go for it.
Yeah.
She obviously just took a look up, and the goalkeeper was out of her box, and she just went for it and saw an opportunity. And I think any of us would be like, "Wow, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Which I think we were thinking.
Especially
but then
final.
when you see it, how the flight of the ball, perfect pace and tempo it had, and then it just dropped right in the left corner, and we like couldn't believe it. We were just like, oh my god, we just kind of were like just so stunned, and it just was an unbelievable moment. But if anyone could do it, it probably would be her.
Have you ever been on the wrong side of a game like that? Like, have you ever been a defender in a game where you just get smoked like that?
Fortunately, no.
That's good.
Honestly, that's
good for everybody.
I feel very lucky that has never happened.
Yeah.
I have never been a part of a game like that and being on the other end of it.
Could you hear the Japan players talking? Like, were they trying to keep each other up at all? Like,
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have any clue what they were saying.
Yeah, but you could read the emotional sort of
faces,
because they kept having these huddles, and I was just like, I don't really know what you say about 3-0 after 15 minutes.
But we were matching those huddles because we couldn't believe that we were winning by that much. So we had to like bring each other together and say, hey, look, like we need to be smart right now. We need to continue to defend, and we need to continue to stay compact, but yet let's keep going for it. Let's keep pressuring, but now we have to be smart and like let's stay compact. We're up 3-0, 4-0. Let's just like hold this and play well.
Any nerves when they get one back?
Yeah, a few nerves. Obviously, it was just 4-1. But at that time, you never. And it was 6 seconds. We were 6 seconds away from breaking that record of the shutout record of all World Cup and history.
Yeah.
And so I was super bummed about that. I didn't know at the time. I thought we had surpassed it already, but 6 seconds. And I think obviously records. It's whatever. Winning a game is 10 times more important.
Sure.
But at that moment, it's obviously not a good feeling to let in a goal when you're already up 4-0. So that was kind of devastating for us. But we were like, you know what, we're still up, we're winning, and let's just keep attacking.
It must be just so different though, like the way the tempo changes when you're like protecting a lead like that. I mean, they say like 2-1 is what like the most dangerous lead in soccer or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's weird. 5-1 or 4-1 is a strange one. Even in the bar when we were watching, we were like, I don't think this matters that much.
It's hard. Exactly. I totally agree, because it's also hard to keep that tempo higher than your opponent when you're already winning 4-0. Sometimes you feel like you can just chill and knock the ball around, but yet we were then starting to play at their tempo. And it started to we were like, you know what, we need to continue to put pressure on. We need to continue to play quick, because that's our game. And we can't like kind of stoop down to the level that they were playing at, because then they matched us, and that's when they did score that goal. So then we were like, okay, let's up the tempo a little bit. Let's get back on track.
That was certainly like watching the team again, watching you play Germany, watching you play Japan was when it was great to see the team peak at the perfect moment, because that was where I thought like that's their game. It's like just blowing people off the ball and then transition really fast like that.
Right, correct. I think it happened during China. I think we got, unfortunately, Lauren Holiday and Megan Rapinoe couldn't play that game, so we had to, get some of our game changers in the game and in the mix, and I think that brought in really good vibes, really positive energy. Not that we didn't have that before, but it just gave those players some fire underneath them to want to perform, and I think that's when it really turned around for us, and that's when we started to peak at the right time.
Did you not wear the headband for the final?
I did, but one of my friends asked me last night what happened to it, and he said, I assumed that you took it off so that you could have really nice pictures, and that's what everyone I think thought.
My theory was that it was more like LeBron, where LeBron like all of a sudden he's like, well, I'm playing better without the headband.
We're winning 4-0. I'm done with this. No, I think what happens. I have to just adjust it a little bit. Unequal has been amazing in the fact that they are just customizing all these headbands for me, and whatever I need and want, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it just gets super sweaty. It was really heavy and it was sliding. And at that point, I start thinking more about my headband then, and that's me because I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So that's an effect that I got to get adjusted.
It's summer. It's okay.
Right. So and it was super hot in there, and so it was like a furnace, So I was like, this is annoying me more, and I'm focusing more on that than the game itself.
Yeah.
So I can't let that affect it. So that's when I took it
I think
off.
people like casual soccer fans who watch tournament soccer in the summer don't realize how it's not really a summer game.
Right.
It's like, so when they see people and they're dehydrated and stuff. I was wondering, speaking of the surroundings, how the turf was.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Any...
Obviously, we're gonna, we have to adapt, just like every other team.
Yeah.
We're gonna just get our job done, no matter if we play on concrete, a rug, or turf, or real grass. We got to get the job done. We have to adapt, and we have to find a way, which I think we did an excellent job of doing, because every single field, every single stadium field in the tournament was different.
Yeah.
The turf was totally different than, and it's just, you had to get used to it only a day or two before the match, and so that was really frustrating. At times, we were like, you know what, just breathe. We're gonna be fine. We'll take care of business no matter what.
Does that lend itself to like more technical football because it's like a flat surface is not slowing down, or do you feel like that's better for long ball and like getting out and running a little bit?
More technically, because the ball, you never know where it's going to bounce.
Yeah.
As a defender especially, we have to, when we pressure and we have to cover, the three other backs have to tuck in, because you never know, say, for example, Becky or JJ go up and try and receive a ball or clear a ball. You don't know if it's going to bounce and take a different deflection onto a forward, running onto hope at goal. It's like, so you have to really focus on...
to England, basically, right?
Yeah,
like
and so you never know where the ball's going to bounce, and that was really frustrating at times. But then also, more importantly, your body is just taking a beating. I felt like I was 10 years older after training. I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Just the feeling of that, and having to play 7 games in that short amount of time on that type of surface, it gets to you after a while. Can
you talk to me a little bit about the back four? I think for some people, for soccer fans, they know the importance of a central defensive pairing, and the amount of communication that has to go to allow fullbacks to go forward, to make overlapping runs, to know that their midfield's going to cover them if there's a counter. Julie had come in as a starter pretty recently, like right up at the World Cup. Like, what was it like to grow as a unit back there?
Well, the first game that we ever played together in the back four was on March 6th. Wow. And that was, pretty shocking compared to other teams maybe that had, their back line intact way before, years before that. So I think that was really impressive that we honestly have really good communication. We don't just say back four, we say back five, because, hope is such a huge component of that, and in organizing and communicating. And I think that we all want to excel, and we want to do the best we can for each other and make each other look good, and say, hey, a lot of communication was just like, hey, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? How can we make this better? We want a flawless performance. We want to tidy up some things and tidy up some details that we need to work out. And I think that was great to have that challenge against Australia and Nigeria and Sweden in the group stage, because then we were going up against great teams, and we could then iron out the details, that maybe the mistakes that we were making at the beginning stages, so that we then prepared for China, Germany, and obviously Japan in the end. So I think that was to our advantage. And I think we would just talk at halftime and say, look, like, maybe we got to fix this up. That happened in the first half. Look, she got in behind me a couple times, maybe in Australia when Sam Kerr got in behind a couple times. I said, you know what, sorry, my bad. We're going to fix it. I have to have better communication with the midfielder to keep them in front of me. It just was a lot of communication and a lot of confidence that we built off of that after we then just performed well and stayed compact.
You mentioned March. I think that some people don't know that this whole cycle is almost a season unto itself, in terms of like how long you guys have been in training camps, whittling down the roster, and now it's fun, but it's like you have like a whole postseason sort of regime now.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the highlights since you guys have been back? I saw you at LA Live. You were in New York, obviously Taylor Swift show.
Oh my gosh, that was
that more nerve-wracking than
that was like
playing?
right up there with the World Cup final.
But I'm serious. I mean, like, 'cause some people would be pretty nervous walking out to Style and stuff like that. You know?
Well, I felt she's an incredible human being, incredible person, a performer, artist. She was unbelievable. So nice, so humble.
Yeah.
Wanted us on the show. We were fangirling. She was fangirling. She thought the world of us. We think the world of her. I mean, we rock out to her music in our locker room all the time.
Awesome.
So it just was like a perfect. It was just,
and the
my
setting
mind
was incredible.
blown. The setting was great. It was in New York. It just worked out perfectly, and Coca-Cola really helped out with that, and organizing all of that for us. So that was just unbelievable. And she wanted us out on the stage, and we were like, oh my god, we just wanted to come and like watch you. And have,
that was
like,
the thing that Carly Kloss has been doing, right? Like walking out. Yeah,
and all the Victoria's Secret models were there. All her friends were there, and it just was like unbelievable experience. I think that we walked out, we were just like, let's just rock out, because this is a once in a lifetime thing. And she was so honored to have us, and that just made us feel so amazing. And it was a wonderful experience. And we turned and walked like back off the stage after we came down and get like a group hug, and the flags were going and everyone was cheering. I think the fans went nuts. She was so excited. She goes, girls are going to be taken out on stretchers because they're going to be fainting. Like, she was so excited about the whole thing. So she grabbed my hand like back, like to walk up to the, to take us off the stage.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm just going to go with it. Yeah.
Are you guys just like all taking pictures of each other constantly?
I mean, it was unbelievable. So
what is sort of, so when does your like alley time start? Like, when does private, like, do you guys have another week of sort of commitments and stuff, but do you get to go on vacation soon?
No, I mean, we go on our victory tour right away. So,
okay.
So we have this week in LA for the parties and the ESPYs and the Teen Choice Awards, and then we have a game this weekend. So we're not playing. We're going to be going just to say hi to the fans, like, and a welcome back type thing, and see our teammates who we've missed in the NWSL, because that's super important now. We want to boost the league up. We want to show our support, because it is important, and that's our job. And we're still in the middle of our season, so we have to take care of that. And then obviously next week, I think things are going to be calmed down a little bit. We're going to do stuff at home in DC, and that's the plan right now. Obviously, vacation is put on hold until maybe October, November time, because we have the victory tour coming up. So we'll take a few days here and there in between these events. So
you're talking about going back to Washington, and you're going to be visiting doing some club game appearances.
Yes.
It's the same way it happened for the guys after the World Cup last year. I think that there's always the question about, like, so what's the thing to take the game forward in this country? But most of all, to make sure that the club game here maintains the level of interest people have in World Cups. And obviously World Cups are World Cups. But you've had the unique experience of playing in Europe, and we were talking before the pod about how the quality of those leagues. Would you like to see more women play overseas and play in those European leagues too, just to get that experience, or is it really tough to maintain your connection to the national team when you're over there?
I think both, because for me, I wasn't yet on the full team, and that's where I wanted to go. So that was my option when I was 23. I just finished school, or 22, and just turned 23. I finished school, and then I was like, look, how can I get to be on the national team? I don't want to just have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not ready for that. I don't want to play pickup on Tuesday, Thursday nights with my friends from high school.
Right.
A 7-a-side game. So I need to go, and I need to put myself in a challenge situation that's going to make me better. So that's kind of how. And I went to the Nordic Cup that year with the U23 national team. So some European coaches saw me, and that's kind of how I went over. I think it was super important for me at such a young age to kind of mold me into a professional, and I think to get that experience in different style of play. So I think that I use that to my advantage. So I have like this American style, and then this like European style that I kind of now
so is that more
together.
Like possession based sort of?
Exactly. 1-2 touch, technical. I think I got 10 times more technical over in Europe than I ever had been in the U.S. And that was just because I played every weekend in training with 7 German national team players every single day. I think the training was much better for me than the games were. But obviously it was just still, I was playing every weekend, and you're played in, and I think that that's really important as a young player to kind of get that professional experience. I think going there, I really became a professional player and, cleaned up my game a little bit. So I honestly think that it really helped me in my situation. Obviously, everyone's different, but I really think that experience in playing 10 months out of the year is something that the NWSL needs to model our league
right
around, because I think that's important. Only 6 months out of the year, it's really difficult to, obviously with lesser teams, we're trying to get more teams into the league, and everything's going to be kind of a domino effect. Once we do that, then it will be, a longer season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key to like so many soccer leagues, is to have that parity and have so many teams competing.
And I think that we just need to be played in and have a game every weekend, because 10 months out of the year, I mean, that's just what it's about. And having, the German Cup that I play, that I would play in the Bundesliga, just every weekend, that exposure, and also the Champions League, that's just, an unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
And in 2008 we won the treble, so that was the first year I was there, and we won everything we could have won, and it was my first year, and that was just an unbelievable time.
It must just give you such a different mindset in terms of like pursuing trophies like that, to make it a job rather than just a dream. It's pretty incredible.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was something that really helped me and gave me an advantage to be now on the national team this amount of time.
Well, it's been the story of the summer, and we had so much fun watching you. So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you,
I like
Chris.
Everybody.
Really appreciate it.
Take care.